Yuri Rodionov returned to tournament action this week. Yuri's preparation didn't go as planned, so it was a bit of a journey into the unknown for us. In addition, Yuri had never been to India before and the local conditions are not always easy. So I was also curious to see how he would cope with all these factors. The exact destination for us in India was the city of Pune, a city with over 6 million inhabitants, not far from the megacity of Mumbai in western India. Pune is located on the Deccan Plateau and therefore has a slight elevation of around 600 meters. This always brought a pleasant coolness, at least in the evening. During the day, however, the temperatures of over 30 degrees were a challenge for the players during the matches. I've been here a few times in the past and it wasn't easy to control the balls due to the altitude. At least that was my expectation this time too. But I was proved wrong. This time it was no problem at all for the players to control the balls. Dunlop balls were used here, and when you see how fluffy a ball becomes after about 20 contacts, then it was also explainable. This shows once again how much the conditions change with the choice of balls. Yuri felt comfortable here from the start as far as the strokes were concerned. However, he was a little worried about the heat. In the past, he has always had physical problems in hot or humid weather. But of course, he is not the only one. These conditions are challenging for any professional, so physical condition is not the only factor. A strong will is also required. Some of the players at this tournament had already been playing here in India for 2 weeks and were also gaining experience in terms of eating. There were some who were struggling with diarrhea, and this weakening, of course, makes it even more difficult to compete here. Yuri was extremely careful with his food here, so we hope that he would be spared from these problems. The Radisson Hotel was the official hotel for the players and was of a good standard. Yuri tried to eat almost exclusively at the hotel to minimize the risk even further. Yuri's opponent in the first round was the Japanese player Mochizuki. In January of this year, Yuri lost to this player in the semifinals in Nomeya. This time too, the first set was just lost in a tiebreak. Yuri then managed to get the match under control and won the next 2 sets surprisingly easy. Physically, the match was definitely a challenge for Yuri, and a good recovery was of great importance for the second round the next day. Yuri's opponent in the second round was the Czech Zvrcina, an opponent who varies a lot and gives you time to think. Unfortunately, Yuri had a little too much time to think. He lost the first set 4-6. In the second set, Yuri was 5-3 and 40 love up on his own serve. He lost this game and then the frustration was a little too much and he lost the second set 5-7. Of course, it was bitter to lose this set, but that can happen quickly in tennis. Making the right decisions in terms of shot selection is the key to success in these matches. Playing along when necessary and then taking command when the right situation arises is easier said than done. But Yuri is certainly a player who has the instinct for it. But we need to broaden his base so that he can concentrate on the essentials and not think too much about what the right shot would be. The right shot should come from instinct and we need to work that out even better. Physically, Yuri seems to be on the rise again, and now it's time to make up as much as possible for the time lost on the practice court in recent weeks. Thank you for your interest and see you in the next video.